All right, welcome into the Buckeye Blitz on FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media. I'm Jeff Thitoff. You can follow me on the X at FitHappens. A lot to get into today, but I also want to remind you can go download the app for free. It's for Apple and Android, a totally free app. Go check it out. You can get that and get round-the-clock programming. We have so much stuff going on, new shows being added all the time, great talent across the country. Also, go to fanstreamsports.com and join the Facebook group, too. We have a FanStream Sports Facebook group. Interact with the hosts and other fans of shows. All right, let's start with football. We had the NFL draft is just finished up this past weekend. Only 4 Buckeyes drafted. That's the fewest in 11 years. Not really surprised based on everyone that came back for Ohio State to try to make another run at a Big Ten title, a national title, playoffs and all that, and, of course, to beat that team up north. But Ohio State's 4 players taken. Marvin Harrison, number 4 overall, the wide receiver to the Arizona Cardinals. Mike Hall Jr., defensive tackle, went in the second round, 54th overall to the Cleveland Browns. Cade Stover, tight end, went to the Houston Texans in the 4th round at 123 overall. And Tommy Eichenberger, linebacker for the Las Vegas Raiders in the 5th round, 148 overall. Obviously, Harrison's the gem of this class, and he's going to be I don't know whether there's the argument about is he going to be the best receiver, because people like the Malik Neighbors. Rome Odunze, I like him as well, but look, Marvin Harrison is the most NFL-ready receiver in this group. He's going to benefit from going to a team like Arizona. Kyler Murray's not great, but Kyler Murray put up decent numbers when DeAndre Hopkins was there. DeAndre Hopkins put up decent numbers with Kyler Murray, so I'm not worried about that. Marvin Harrison's a game changer, a franchise player, and he's going to he'll have an incredible NFL career. I love Mike Hall to the Browns. I think that he's somebody who fell in the draft a little bit more than I thought he should. He's going to be a great addition to that defensive line, helping the rotation for the Dogs, for the Browns defense. Cade Stover, couldn't really pick a better place for him going in the 4th round of the Texans, reuniting with C.J. Stroud. Obviously, Stroud's got some experience throwing to Cade Stover in Columbus. Ohio State tight ends typically don't put up gaudy receiving numbers in college, but Stover does know how to block, and he's got good hands. So that will benefit him in the NFL, and I think he's a sleeper to have a really good year. Might be the second best tight end this year coming up in the NFL. Tommy Eichenberg, boy, he's got kind of that Raiders vibe to him as far as just being a mean, nasty guy who he loves playing. He's a football player. It's what he is. He's a football player. It's how you get. He's like the perfect fit for a Raiders defense. Couple of other Buckeyes that we thought might get drafted but didn't. Josh Proctor, his safety, he signed with Jacksonville. Offensive line Matt Jones went to the Miami Dolphins. Wide receiver special teams ace Xavier Johnson had the Block O jersey this year. He went to Buffalo. And Steel Chambers, the linebacker, he led the team in tackles last year for Ohio State. He had 83 tackles. He ended up going to the Lions. Still waiting to see Mayan Williams, the running back, unsigned. Obviously, he had some health issues. We'll see if Mayan Williams catches on with somebody in the NFL very soon. Other former Buckeye news, I guess. Ezekiel Elliott, the former Buckeye great, played on the national championship team, had a great run with the Dallas Cowboys, went to New England last year, actually was healthy, played the entire season for the Patriots, which for his age and for some of the injury things he's had in the past was a bit surprising. Wasn't great, averaged 3.5 yards a carry, but he was effective, I guess, and he's good holding on to the football. He's good in pass protection. Anyway, going back to the Cowboys, pending a physical. So Zeke will be back there. The Cowboys, one of the rare teams that really needed a running back and didn't draft one this year. They've got very little depth at that position. Unless they make another addition somewhere else, Zeke could be the number one guy when the season starts. I'd fully expect that. Talking about college football, going back to that, the transfer portal, it closes on Tuesday. So we're curious if any other Buckeyes will make the jump into the portal. I got to believe one of the quarterbacks, one of the 5, I got to believe is going to make the jump somewhere. I don't know which one it is, though. I do know I would be shocked if it was Will Howard or Julian Sand. I don't think either one of those guys going to. I think Will Howard is going to be the starter. But so that leaves Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz, and Aaron Nolan. Aaron Nolan came with a lot of hype and was very excited about being a Buckeye, but now Julian Sands here, and that might change things for him as far as what he wants to do. Lincoln Keenholz, he was overmatched, and Ryan Day had admitted this. He was not ready against Missouri in that Cotton Bowl game down in Dallas when Keenholz had to come in for Devin Brown. He looked awful in that game, but again, wasn't really prepared for that. Thrust into that because, of Kyle McCord transferring out and then Devin Brown getting hurt. Devin Brown, the other guy you got to look at now, and will he stick around? Is he going to get any kind of vibe or any kind of feedback from the coaches? I'm sure the coaches would love to have Devin Brown stick around, but if they're honest with him, if they say to him, and I'm not sure what the situation is, they say to him, hey, Will Howard's probably the starter. Will Devin Brown stick around? I know that Brown said early on he loves the competition. I'm not going anywhere. Tate Martell said the same thing. Not comparing the two. I'm just saying you could change your mind on these things depending how the landscape changes around you. I'm sure when Devin Brown said, I'm not going anywhere, he meant that. But if the Buckeye coaching staff says, hey, just so you know, it's probably Will Howard, then I would not blame Devin Brown one bit for transferring. And so they rule now, transfer as many times as you want, as long as you're in good academic standing and you're immediately eligible, as you can't play for two teams in the same season. We already do know that Jahad Carter, the Ohio State safety who came in last year from Syracuse, much ballyhooed. He was an All-American as a freshman, I think, with the Orange. And he came in last year, got hurt, only made 5 tackles during the season, didn't do much. And so now he is transferring out. He's announced that. The Ohio State defensive back. But look, I love Ransom, but it's not, I'm sorry, not Ransom. I'm sorry, I love Carter. It's just not going to be a huge loss for this team. Latham Ransom's here now, and that's where you think that with Caleb Downs coming in as well, those guys are the ones who are really taking a lot of the snaps away from Carter. So I totally get why he's going. By the way, other Buckeye news, Dallin Hayden, the running back who transferred out for Ohio State, he has announced he is transferring to Colorado, to Deontown, and play for Sanders out there. So best of luck to him. He was a great running back here at Ohio State. Just not enough carries in the room with the guys they have on the roster now. Now, 2024 draft being over, CBS Sports did their 2025 mock draft. In that mock draft, they had 7 Buckeyes going in the first round. Amazing. Not hard to believe, but because of how much talent they have this year, look, a lot of these guys could have gotten drafted this past year, in 2024, I should say, decided to come back to school. Like I said, unfinished business. But the CBS Sports mock draft, they've got 7 Buckeyes going in the top 20, in the first round, of the 2025 draft. Switch over to men's hoops. And Bowen Hardman, the kid who transferred out of Ohio State, the guard, he's headed to Akron. Felix Lakpara, the big man who led Ohio State in both rebounding and blocks this year, he's headed to Tennessee. ESPN put out their way too early top 25 rankings. They've got Ohio State ranked 24th. And CBS Sports did their they do their top 25 and 1. And in theirs, they've got Ohio State ranked 14th. And, you know, the addition of Bradshaw from Kentucky is such a big deal, getting Michi Johnson in here. This Ohio State team's on a good run. They need a little more shooting, maybe another big in the transfer portal, but we'll see what shakes out with that. But right now, they're in pretty good shape. Like I say, CBS Sports has them 15th in the 2024-2025 rankings right now. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where Jake Diebler's crew goes and what else happens on the transfer front. Women's hoops had a chance to talk to Kevin McGuff, the Ohio State head basketball coach. He was out at the WNBA draft when J.C. Sheldon got picked 5th and overall, and Celeste Taylor went in the second round of Indiana Fever. Celeste Taylor joining Caitlin Clark from Ohio State, and also Kelsey Mitchell. I'm sorry, Caitlin Clark from Iowa and Kelsey Mitchell from Ohio State playing for the Indiana Fever as well. Celeste Taylor, a shutdown defender, will be a great player for that team. And J.C. Sheldon going 5th overall, Dallas. Good for her. It's great for recruiting to have that kind of thing, that kind of publicity. And McGuff was out there with both of those young ladies. A couple of people Ohio State's women's team added in the portal. And McGuff said that, look, when they got beat this past season, usually it was because of one or two or these other two things, one or two or both, rebounding and outside shooting. And so he made it a priority to go into the transfer portal and address that. He's done that. He's got Asia Petty now, who's a 6'3" forward. She's a senior out from Kentucky, and she averaged a double-double last year, 3rd in the SEC in rebounding. Also a pretty good shooter, but she averaged 14.7 points, 10.6 rebounds this past season. Great addition. It's exactly what Ohio State needs. It's more of an athletic big than they had last year with Rebecca. So I love the fact they went out and got Asia Petty. That will actually help this team out quite a bit. They might still need a little more size, but they should be okay. Also, Chance Gray, a point guard, 5'9" sophomore out of Oregon. She transfers to Ohio State as well. She was from Cincinnati. She was the Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2022. She averaged 13.9 points and 3 assists for Oregon this past year. She was the number 7 recruit in the country 2 years ago. But so she comes in now. So it comes back to Ohio. Another great addition for Ohio State. They're going to need some depth at point guard. Madison Green's there, I know, but we're not sure on her minutes how much she can play. but we need somebody like Chance Gray for the women's basketball team to help pick up the slack there. I asked McGuff about the makeup of the team. Does it change anything philosophically? He does. And he said maybe a little bit on offense, but the defense, no. It'll still be 40 minutes of hell, still be pressing the teams full court from the start, and we'll see where that goes. But it's an exciting season for Ohio State women's basketball. I already talked about the exciting season for men's basketball coming up. It's Ohio State very fortunate to be on the run they're on, the way the hoops team ended on the men's side, what McGuff's done on the women's side, and also obviously where this football team is. They'll be a top 1 or 2 team in the country when the preseason polls come out. All right, that's it for me. Again, join me out. Follow me on the X. I am @ThitHappens on there. This has been the Buckeye Blitz on FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media, and we will talk to you soon.